Welcome to part two. We should be joined by Ellis any second from Blackburn over there in Lancashire, Cotton Town. Uh, should be interesting. We're going to give him some questions. He speaks very clearly. He doesn't speak over me, and he's a nice kid. So there you go. I want to talk about Big Freeze. It's Big Freeze, eh? Who recently took a trip to Button Moon, and he's only just landed back on planet Earth after Wardley smoked his boots and lit him up for a big dent inside of his head. Welcome to part two, Ellis. It's Big Freeze has piped up. The giant, abominable 6'6", 20-stone snowman with a big dent inside of his napper. He's all over the Dubois power thing because he sparred him and blah de blah. They're just playing the game, aren't they? Because they've got to bump into these people. They don't have to bump into Usyk regularly, but they've got to work with Bricktop down the line. And it shows you, in my opinion, how all these lions, the fighters, are controlled by the rats, the promoters, because nobody dares speak out of turn, dare they?
Yeah, no, it's like they're all paid shills, aren't they? They'll push the narrative that will benefit them the most, and sometimes it's a case of they might not be on the level of someone who's in a world title fight. They might actually benefit from sparring them and bringing on their own development. So you're in a position really where you don't really want to be burning bridges, do you?
No.
Um, so yeah, especially if you're in the UK, there's not that many heavyweights, is there? And sparring someone like Daniel Dubois for someone at Fraser's level is going to be beneficial to him. So he ain't going to want to ruffle feathers, is he? So
No.
that's where it stems from, I think.
What do you think to the very, very, very strong rumour that Daddy Fudd's outed Mark Tibbs out the camp after the apparently he said Mark Tibbs said you don't want to be fighting Rhino in that rematch. You need 3 or 4 more fights. They went on their own tangent, signed a rematch agreement for a trilogy if they lost, and now it looks like he's befriended the Lazy Rhino, and there might not be a trilogy. And it looks like Mark Tibbs is not working with him. What do you think to that?
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? I mean, it's a weird one. I mean, if that's the advice that Mark did give him, then it was probably pretty good advice. But obviously, the the prospect of earning the money that they did in the rematch overrid that opinion. But in terms of changing it up trainer wise, I think when you're a boxer at a high level, you can sort of see styles of trainers that would suit certain boxers. But when you're talking about Johnny Fisher, he's still pretty new to the game, isn't he? So I don't really feel like he's at the stage of his career where it's like, oh no, yeah, he's a slickster. Maybe he's a switch hitter. Maybe he should go to the Ingle gyms and benefit from that. He's not at that stage yet. I just think any trainer who's run of the mill, but will get him fit, get him in shape, teach him the fundamentals, is what he needs right now. And I'm pretty sure that's what he would have been getting with the Tibbs, because they'll have known not to, push the butt out too far and try and get him doing stuff that he can't do. All it is about getting him in shape, getting him listening to orders, getting him behind the jab and stuff like that. So I don't really know what he's gonna all of a sudden achieve by moving up the country or changing trainers. So it's a bit of a weird one for me. But that is it's an age old thing in boxing, isn't it? Take a loss, blame the trainer, change camps, and yeah, it's something that's been repeated over the years with lots of fighters, isn't it?
Do you feel that after the Babic win, that they got an area belt, and do you think they all got out of control? Because I personally believe that the old man has got out of control, me, with this stardom thing.
Yeah, they started believing in his power, didn't they? But it was a it was a demolition job. It wasn't a test of attrition, was it? It didn't have to overcome any adversity, and that can just happen at them weights, can't it? You can get ball over jobs, but that's not something to dine out on, especially that early in your professional career. You need tests. You need to see what you're like against the durable guy, against the southpaw, against the multiple different styles. And yeah, I think they might have got a bit too trigger happy with that Babbage win. He was a small man, weren't he, Babbage anyway? But yeah, and I think he took that confidence into the first Dave Allen fight, didn't he? Thinking he could bang away, and Dave was still stood there, weren't he? And he turned the tides and put him down, didn't he? So yeah, he's got a lot to learn yet, I think.
He's got a hell of a lot to learn. Carl Frampton is coming out in support of Barker. Sorry, not Barker. Dubois. Darren Barker. He's saying Usyk, but don't be surprised if Dubois wins. And Bellew's going for Usyk. I'm sure he wants to go to bed with Usyk. Me, Tony Bellew. I've never heard a man wax so lyrical about another man that actually put him on Button Moon. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, it's it's all a bit cringe, isn't it? Obviously, with Frampton, he's on the payroll now, and Barker's Mister Sit on the fence. He's a bit of a company man now, isn't he? He's got that kind of reputation, and I don't think he's a great listen, Barker. Whereas I don't mind listening to Frampton. I think he has some decent inputs. And Bellew again, he's a tough listen for me. Um, he really does lip a lot, doesn't he? And he speaks that way about Derek Chisora as well. I don't know whether he's super good pals with him, whatever, but he waxes lyrical about him. But yeah, the Usyk stuff, it's obvious that he had a lot of trouble with that fight that he had, and he got knocked out concussively, didn't he? Which is quite rare for Usyk fights. He doesn't really knock people spark out like that. So for him to go out like that, I think he has to bootlick, doesn't he, and has to put him on a pedestal. But if we're being honest, it's nothing untrue what he's saying. Usyk is that good, isn't he? So it's not untrue, but it's just cringe, isn't it, to hear?
Yeah, I seen Usyk in the face-off say that Derek Chisora is the hardest he's ever been hit. So obviously he got caught flush. I think it was round three. After that,
Yeah,
Usyk tended to not put as much mustard on his shots. They were just scoring shots, and he just gave him a boxing lesson, in my opinion. But I think he got clipped in round three up close, and he sort of changed his style. He adapts very well, doesn't he? And Derek will come in. He does that bull rush thing where he comes in, doesn't he, winging them in. He's
yeah,
very orthodox. And I thought he got took to school. I thought it was embarrassing from Bombay Dave and B-side Bellew to be screaming at the end that Derek had won on points. I don't know what that were about. I don't know where that came from, but aren't they supposed to be pundits and be impartial? They were jumping up and down like banshees, weren't they, on the night? Do you think?
yeah. It's hysteria of fight night. It can do that, and when you're so heavily invested on a personal level with one fighter, you get your blinkers on, and that's something I try to never do. Even though I'll have a dog in a race, and I'll feel like I'm supporting this fighter. If they're taking a beating or if they're getting soundly outboxed, I'll always admit it, and I'll say what my eyes see. And you don't always agree with people on what you're seeing, but I try and be impartial where I can. And unfortunately, people who are from the same gyms or financially invested in fighters, they have the blinkers on, don't they? And they only see one person's work. Now, going back to Usyk saying that, Derek's the hardest that's hit him, I think that's just because he's the one that did hit him. No one else has really hit him flush, have they? So, and
No.
that's testament to Usyk, isn't it? So that's why
He
he's saying
adapts,
that.
doesn't he? He can deal with big punches. He got clipped there. He got rattled in round three against Chisora. And
Yeah,
to adapt. I don't think Fury rattled him upstairs, but I think he did it towards body rounds 4, 5, and 6. But I also felt that Fury emptied his tank after round 6. In the first fight.
yeah, he did. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was having a bit of success digging down to the body, weren't he? And
Yeah.
that's a tactic that I'd probably try and adapt to if I was a heavyweight, because he's too elusive and he's like a cat. But it's hard to sustain because he's that adaptable that you're probably not going to hit him with the same body shot twice, so it's going to be very difficult, isn't it? So, like I say, that's that word adaptability, isn't it? He just adapts to everything. You might have a little bit of success, but it must be so hard to nail him over the course of 12 rounds. It's mastery, isn't it, in the master boxer?
Jamie Moore's fighters and Carl Frampton being a pundit on his close friend and ex-trainer's stable. You think that's a conflict of interest on the night?
Yeah, I think that's the perfect phrase to sum it up. It's a conflict of interest, isn't it? It's like, you're going to back your friends, you're going to back your company, aren't you? It's going to be an awkward dinner party or a few beers when you have a a barbecue or something. When you've said, he's getting soundly outboxed, or he's not good defensively, or he's this, that, or the other. You're not going to be overly critical. And I always feel like when they're landing shots on the gloves, they'll say things like, "Oh, good left hook," or "good jab. That was a solid counter." And it's like, no, let's score punches that land. And it has an effect on the viewer, doesn't it? And when
Mm.
there's a big fight on a big screen in a pub, people start believing what these guys are saying, and I'm like, no. It happened with that Ben Eubank fight. The commentators were saying it were a draw or something, or Ben was up, and it does affect the narrative of the
Tell you
pub.
had him
It's
winning
been,
comfortably, didn't he, Ben?
yeah, yeah, people believe it, don't they? It's no, score what your eyes see. That's what I say. Score what your eyes see.
Legendary freeweight world champion Duke McKenzie. He thinks the only chance he's got is to make it a bloodbath and hit him everywhere and just rough Usyk up and put it on him. But do they think Usyk's not seen that kind of style before?
It doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, what tactics would I get? I can't give advice because it seems like I'd have an answer for everything. But I'd probably my advice would be don't come out tentative because you can't have a jab off with him. You're not going to win that battle. I would say rush forward. Try and go in there as if it's going to be a 5 round fight, 6 round fight, and invest heavily in the body. But again, it's this is easy for me to say it from my settee, isn't it? It's all easier said than done because he's a slippery character, isn't he? And he just seems to have an answer for everything. But yeah, swarming is probably the logic I'd lean towards as well. But yeah, easier said than done, isn't it?
Derek's talking Usyk, Chisora 2 down the line. He wants another crack at him. You think he'll get that?
Usyk Chisora too.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Um, just no. No one needs to see that. He's not of the level as he's been. I mean, even the third fight with Fury was one step too far. I mean, he got battered 3 times by Fury. He got battered by. We didn't get battered. We got soundly outboxed by Usyk the first time, and Usyk's since battered Fury, who battered Chisora. Yeah, there's levels, isn't there? It's not. And plus he's old and over the hill now. Is Chisora. No, no one needs to see that fight.
Adam Cattrall, he's got a YouTube channel. He also works at Talksport. What he says on Talksport is not what he says on his YouTube channel. A bit like Adit, Alapido, Puppy Parsons with his YouTube channel, White Rhino with his YouTube channel, Johnny Fisher with his YouTube channel, Carl Froch with his YouTube channel. They all tend to say different things when they're in the company of these people. Uh, Adam Cattrall's saying he's swaying towards Dubois now. Do you think that's because they want to be right whoever wins?
Yeah, I think they cover all bases, don't they? And with all them people that you mentioned, aside from Froch, it's the living, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
putting bread on the table. So they're not gonna. Uh, I'd prefer to see people have a channel where it's not their sole income really, because so they don't need to worry about upsetting people, and that's where you'll get the truth. That's where you get real opinions, isn't it?
Mm.
But they sort of teeter on the edge and they cover all bases. In front of a TV camera, it's say what the company who's paying me want me to say. On my channel, they'll err on the side of controversy and be like, well, actually, he's a live dog in the fight and blah, blah, blah. And I think he might do this and I think he might do that. So then you get me, they've covered both angles, haven't they? And like I say, it's keeping everybody's bread buttered in it and keeping the views and ultimately the wages coming in. That's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll finish off on this. Who have you got on the night?
For Usyk and Dubois, yeah, Usyk. Just that's it. I've got Usyk. Be very. I wouldn't be necessarily unhappy if Dubois won. If he wins and he's the better man, fantastic. But I just can't see anything other than a Usyk win. So Usyk.
Okay. Lawrence Sakola, Kevin Lorena. Lawrence fighting, he's WBC #1 ranked. I don't think he had to take this fight, but he's took it. He's chief support. Do you think Lawrence runs over Lorena?
So with this fight, he has to not stink it out. He has to not.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
chief support. He's in Wembley. He's got eyes on him. It's a big fight, and it's a tough fight. To be fair, he's not walkover, is he, Lorena? Just put your hands together, get that right hand, find that right hand range, get a devastating knockout and kick on. Because if he falls back into stinky mode, it's downhill from there, and no one's gonna watch him because he's had too many passes for stinking out the place.
Yeah.
But it remains to be seen. They're saying heavyweight's his weight. That first fight he had was clinical, weren't it? He sort of rolled back and put the right hand on him, and it was an impressive finish. I want to see something like that again, but at the higher level of Lorena. So the ball's in your court, Lawrence. That's what I'll say for that one.
Good luck to Lawrence.
Yeah, good luck.
Dad Shiraz, there's talk this morning all over internet that his gloves were loaded. Have you seen the thing that's gone out there?
Yeah. It's his wife's come out or something on a post saying about loaded gloves. I just think they're clutching at straws there. I think
Yeah,
it
I
was.
do.
Listen, I would never, for whatever reason, you align yourself with certain fighters, and I was never a big fan as such of Hamza Shiraz, mainly stemming from the Bradley Skeet fight and then the Adamez performance or whatever. But with boxing, you're never too far away from redeeming yourself, and he has gone up in my estimation. I thought that was a brilliant performance. The way he put his hands together and the way he stopped that Belanga was really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. But let's not get carried away. All this hand wrap stuff. No, he was the better man that night, and um, he knocked him out, didn't he? That's it. It's not, the state commission checked the gloves. Andy Lee was observed when he was wrapping the gloves, and that's all there is to be said.
Yeah.
They're running away with a daft story there.
Yeah, my argument with Shiraz is this: we couldn't get him off our TV screens when he was icing people. He had a bad performance in Saudi, fluked to draw against the Damas, and then wouldn't do an interview. Wouldn't give anybody time of day, and he went missing. You can't have it both ways. Do you know what I mean? He got a hometown decision there, didn't he? Really, to protect his own. That's my argument with him. When you win, when you lose, when you draw, you've got to meet the media. You can't just pick and choose, and that is my argument on that, on him. That's why I'm not keen on him. All right, I don't like out like that, me, because however these YouTubers are, these with access, they've still got to put the time in and do the job. And when they won't give him access because he fluked to draw, nobody wanted to speak, did they? And they protected him. So that's my argument with him. People keep saying, "Oh, can we not cheering for Shiraz?" Well, that's why. Hands of Foam's retired. I tried to tell people about it last week, and then within 48 hours, he'd retired. What do you think of it? Do you think he was handled wrongly? Do you think he should have gone up through a small hole?
It's hard to say, really, isn't it? Because it's a bit of a weird one. Is Campbell Hatton? He looks just like his dad, doesn't he? So there's no hiding who he is. He can't start calling himself Campbell Hills, can he? He's Ricky Hatton's son, and the fact that he took up boxing, it looks from the outside looking in that he's took it on by force, really, not because he has that burning desire. And you could see from early on he wasn't what his dad is or what his dad was. So, but unfortunate for him, he was thrust into the limelight, wasn't he? He was on TV slots straight away. So, for me, should they go on the small holes? It's easier said than done. I don't think they had that choice. When people come knocking on your door with money, uh, it speaks, doesn't it? It speaks volumes. And listen, respect to him. He's given it a go because it ain't an easy sport, and he's done more than I could achieve. He's fought for an area level title, changed a few trainers, and he's probably just realised it isn't for him. So I think it's the right choice. Whether he's made a few quid out of the game, I don't know. Probably, probably done better than most, really. But no, he reached his ceiling, and I kind of respect his opinion for throwing the towel in. Really, what more can you ask for, really?
Yeah. Okay. Eddie Hills going on about doping. The man that's worked with 15 that I can add up, and maybe there's more dopers. And it's what we know, what we don't know about who's doped, and it's quiet and we can't talk about it. There's 15, and he tried to sign Fury. So is that hypocritical of Eddie going on about Rodriguez when Eddie's been working with dopers all his promoting career?
It is, yeah. It's snake oil salesman stuff, isn't it? It's worming his way out, and he's so silk tongued, isn't he? He's I've got to give it to him. He's a brilliant talker, and it's his profession, isn't it? But it's hypocrisy and it's double standards at the highest end, really, isn't it? When he was being apologetic about saying, the Rodriguez fella actually had a fight and he had it in him, and Conor Benn didn't have a fight. It's like you failed the test. It doesn't matter whether you've had the fight or not. If you fail, it's bans for me. It's well, the argument's there. It should be lifetime bans, but it's definitely one rule for one and one for another in Eddie's eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Eubank's £10,000 fine for putting something on social media about saunas and sauna suits and all that nonsense. What do you think about that? I think Terry got wrong on that stick when I had him on yesterday. Looking at going back and checking his social media, it looked to me like he said he had been in the sauna. I think that's why they've done it, even though he said he didn't, and he just put the sauna suit on. What do you make of that? And what do you make of him saying? What do you make of Crusher Ben saying that it looks like the fight's off for September 20th?
Yeah. First of all, the fine. It is what it is, isn't it? I think it was just it. It was a public display, weren't it? So the board had to do. I feel like they had to do something. So a cheeky 10 grand. I don't even know. It makes me doubt if the money even exchanged hands or if it was just a post they put out there. I assume the fine would have took place because they need the money, don't they? But yeah, it's a weird one. Again, one rule for one and one for another. And I think because it was a high profile fight that generated a lot of money, that's why they forced the fine. But um, with regards to the fight being in doubt, I don't think it warrants a rematch. To be honest with you, I know it's contractual and stuff, but I saw a few clips of Conor Benn who were getting interviewed next to that Shakur Stevenson, weren't he, and trying to gob off to him a little bit, as if they're even close on levels. You know what I mean? Shakur Stevenson's a few weights below him, and he's an actual proven world champion with a lot of skill. He's trying to plant seeds in other avenues, isn't he? But personally, I think the fight will happen, the rematch, because there's too much money on the table. But if it doesn't, so what? I mean, I'd be happy to see Eubank retire. Really, he's done. He'll be going out on a high, wouldn't he? And the fight weren't particularly close. It was conclusive, wasn't it? So yeah.
Okay, do you want to go on to part three, kid?
Yeah, we'll do, bud.
See you on part three. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Don't forget to check out my new sponsor there. There you go, Human Nutrients. They do not mess about. All right. And big shout out to Mark, the managing director of the company and founder. Thank you very much for getting in touch. It just shows you, doesn't it? You know, is it free week or something ago? I put a video out and I said, if there's any companies out there that can help boxers, especially them that are getting banged around the head and that, and is there any products out there that can help them? And this company here, they do work with rugby clubs, NFL, and mainly combat sports, and now they're branching into boxing. So I had a bit of luck, but it just shows you've got to be in it to win it. Pop, pop, bang. Booyaka. Big shout out to Raymundo up there in Hartlepool. I hope you're well, Raymundo. I'll see you soon. Peace out. Look forward to seeing you all on part three. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. We're joined by Ellis and we're soon to be joined by him on part three. Pop, pop, bang.